successful business, there's always a hard-fought war that the public rarely gets to see up close. In Business Wars, we're going to be delving into the most iconic and fascinating battles among rivals, like McDonald's versus Burger King, Nike versus Adidas, or Coke versus Pepsi. Others may be less well known, but they'll be just as dramatic. You'll get a close, inside look into the dynamic, sometimes commanding and cunning entrepreneurs who drive these companies. We'll learn about the strategies these business titans use to trump their rivals. Today, we take you to the front lines with an 8-episode series on the battle between Netflix and Blockbuster, and eventually HBO. It was a war. It lasted 8 grueling years. It left behind casualties, thousands of hollowed-out buildings, and economic losses in the billions. Maybe you or your parents remember those times back in the 90s when you get that itch for a movie and hop into your car, turn on the radio, head out for Blockbuster. You remember you pick out your VHS or DVD and stand in line trying to ignore all the popcorn and candy at every turn? If you were lucky, they actually had the movie you came for, but often you left with a second or third choice, and a lot of times the rental fees turned out to be just a down payment, because all too often there were hefty late fees too. Around 1997, along came a guy named Mark Randolph. He was a Silicon Valley marketing wizard with a mind like a Waring blender. And he had a mathematician friend named Reed Hastings. Real forward-thinking guy, computer programmer. Well, Randolph and Hastings came up with a whole new model for distributing movies to consumers. When Reed and Mark came up with Netflix, they knew they'd have to take on the mother of all movie rental chains, Blockbuster. What they didn't know, what they didn't even see coming, was that eventually their business model would upend network television too, and change the entire movie industry. Bottom line, if you like lots of movie choices at the touch of your remote or your smartphone screen, truth is you can thank Hastings and Randolph. Writer Gina Keating takes us to the moment when the possibility of all this crystallized. I'm Mike Corey, the host of Wondery's show, Against the Odds. In our next season, I'm telling the true story about American sailors who wrecked their ship off the coast of Africa. They are captured by a nomadic tribe and will battle